I think you need to get your hearing tested. And I said, what? She goes, see? And I was joking. She goes, no, Bill, I really think you need to get your hearing tested because you don't hear half the stuff I say. And I remember when that day I got married, my granddaddy pulled me aside and he said, son, you want the secret to a long and happy marriage? Pick your battles. He said, if you go to war every time, you're going to lose. And I remember thinking, this is a battle. So I said, all right, I'll go get my hearing tested. So I went to the hearing doctor, gave me the test. He goes, your hearing's fine. I said, thank you very much. Went home. Gail said, how'd it go? I said, he said, my hearing's just fine. She said, well, is it you don't hear half the stuff I say? I said, you know, it's funny you bring that up. Because he said that maybe you shouldn't wait till you're at the other end of the house before you start talking to me. Look at the women, fellas. Look at them. Look at them. They know it's in their little bullet in their arsenal right there. I swear to God, Gail and I could be sitting in the same room for 3 hours. Not a word is said. I get up and walk to the other end of the house and I hear this. Just come on. Now I got to come back in and go, what? She goes, see, you're hard of hearing. I go, no, dogs couldn't hear what you were saying.
I am a recovering alcoholic, 34 years sober. Thank you. There were a lot of one-night stands back in the day. Here's how it would go. I would get drunk, meet a woman, go back to my place, have sex, call myself a cab, leave, remember it was my place. I was a quiet drunk. Some people would say passed out. The haters. One night, I got drunk and passed out in a neighbor's front yard. When I came to, I was part of a yard sale. I was a blackout drunk. Now I have senior moments. I can't catch a break. I spent most of my life asking questions to total strangers. Questions like, you tell me you're the cop. The great love of my life I met in a bar. We met when I fell off my bar stool. She was already on the floor. One night that lady asked me to spank her. I asked her why. She said, I'm into discipline. So instead of spanking her, I made her go stand in the corner. Who's your grandpa? That was a difficult relationship. She had multiple personalities, and I'm bad with names. Like any drunk, I thought I could manage my drinking. I remember after one particularly rough weekend, on Monday I decided I would only drink after dark. Tuesday I bought curtains. In college, I wrote a paper entitled, The History of Public Intoxication in the United States of America from Colonial Times to early this morning. I flunked out of college twice. First time because I was a drunk. Second time I was sober, but the shit was hard. I had a favorite drinking game. My favorite drinking game was called Leave Me the Fuck Alone. Rules were real simple. All you needed was a pack of Marlboro Reds and a Jack Daniels on the rocks. Actually, that's all I needed. All you needed was to leave me the fuck alone.
My wife will never be a tutor. She does not have the patience for it. This would be a typical conversation between me and her. Baby, I don't understand how they got the answer to that math problem. She goes, well, how can I make it any easier? It's right there in front of you in black and white. And I go, I don't care if it's on pink paper with blue polka dots. I don't know how they got that answer. She goes, well, what do you want me to do? I go, tell me how they got the answer. She goes, well, then that'd be cheating and you haven't really learned anything because it's just me doing the math problem in it. So how do we deal with this? I said, here's how we deal with it. You're fired. And then I got a real tutor and he got me through it. But here was my question. I was getting a Christian studies major. Why does a Christian studies major even need a math class? Right? All I need to know is there was 12 apostles, 10 commandments, he spent 3 days in a grave. Boom, aced it. And I did the whole thing online for 2 reasons. 1, because I was still touring. But 2, I didn't want the other kids to know how old I was. But I think I might have blown that when I would ask questions like, what's TikTok? To me, it's the sound a clock makes. That's all I know. Well, so what would happen is the professor would email us a problem, we'd do the problem, and then email it back to him. One night I got this problem. It said, can you solve for X? And I wrote back, maybe. If you can solve for Y. As in, why the hell do I need to know this mess? When I finally knew I was going to pass the class, I called the professor in his office. I said, I've been wanting to ask you something since I started this class. He said, what's that? I said, well, my time on this planet's up, and I go to meet St. Peter. I said, is he going to give me a math problem to do? He said, probably not. And I said, so you're telling me then that this university has a stricter admissions policy than heaven does? He didn't find that too funny. But to show you what an idiot I am, while I was still enrolled in college, the college classes, one night Gail and I were lying in bed, and I rolled over to her and I said, well, I guess you can tell your friends that you're sleeping with a college boy now. She goes, you know what, that's gross. And that right there, my friends, is the difference between men and women. Because there's a lot of reasons why at my age I would not sleep with a college girl. But I can tell you for a fact that gross ain't one of them. And the best thing about taking classes as an adult, if you fail a test, your thought is, hell, I got a job. Tell you what I should have done. Should have taken a class in cell phones and technology. God, I am so far behind the 8 ball on this. I know now what my dad felt like when VCRs first came out. Would your parents do that? Just stare at it like, what's that blinking red light? That's the time. You have to set the time. I don't get it. That's me now. I'm telling you all the time. Like a buddy of mine called me. I was in this football pool, and he was the head of it, and he said, I'm going to Venmo you your money. I said, what? What the hell's Venmo? He goes, that's how I'm going to send you your money. I go, you might as well burn it because I have no idea how to get it. So I don't understand this stuff. The only technology that I really like, and it's amazing to me, is Uber. It's insane. It's magical. I could be anywhere in the world. I can call my wife. 10 minutes later, a car picks me up and takes me to where I want to go, and the guy doesn't ask me for money. It's amazing. And now with these, oh my God, here's the other one. This is the other one that drives me crazy. All these acronyms are using now, nobody talks anymore. It's all in these, like I know what LOL and FYI is, but like other than that, I'm out. If you're under 50 years old and you're texting me, there's a real good chance I have no idea what you're talking about. I texted with my daughter for 3 years before I realized that IDK meant I don't know. I thought it was short for stupid. So I would text her and say, hey, miss you, when you coming home? She'd put IDK. I'm like, well, stay home then. I don't care if you think I'm stupid. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I would say, we miss you, baby, when you coming back? And she would type IDK, MU, and the number 2. And I'm like, I'd move. Mu to me. And I go, yeah, what the hell is she saying? She's saying, I don't know, but I miss you too. And that was so sweet. And I wish I'd have known that before I wrote her out of the will. When my son was, 5 or 6 years old, I give him a pocket knife for his birthday. It was just a little Swiss Army knife. It wasn't anything big. And any guy in this room will tell you that when your daddy gives you a pocket knife for your birthday, that's more than a gift. That's a rite of passage. You've moved from boyhood to manhood. And like I said, it was just a little Swiss Army knife. He was having a great. Well, everything was fine. Till one day, Gail's looking out the kitchen window, and she sees our boy and his best friend jumping up and down the trampoline. My son's got the knife blade out. And she's like, no, no, no. You got to take that away. I said, no, you can't take it away. It's like a rite of passage. It'll break his heart. She goes, well, you better do something, because I'm not calling that other kid's mom, telling him he got stabbed because we let him jump up and down the trampoline with a knife. And I said, all right, I got it. So I walk out there, and I said, hey, buddy, I said, I got an idea. I go, look, can I just see your knife? Because I thought, here's what I'll do. I'll take his knife, I'll go out in the garage, I'll cut the blade of the knife off, give him the rest of the knife back. He don't care, he's 5 years old. Have you ever tried to cut the blade off a knife? Well, for those of you who have not, let me tell you something. It's like made of steel. I'm in the garage with pliers aren't working, wire snips aren't working. I go, I need a pair of bolt cutters. So I put the knife in my pocket, drove over to the Home Depot to get a pair of bolt cutters. But they want $50 a pair. Yeah, I think that's a little overpriced. I mean, I only need it for one job. I know what I'll do. I'll just borrow their bolt cutters. I'll slip off behind the lumber section there, snip that blade off that knife, put the bolt cutters back, give my son his knife back. Everybody's happy. I'm in the corner of the Home Depot, hiding behind the plywood with a pair of basically stolen bolt cutters. And I'm squeezing on the blade of that knife, and I'm squeezing. I heard dink, and I went, ow, God. And I look, and the blade has flown into my shoulder. My shirt is soaking with blood. I'm like, what the hell? And I can't pull the blade out. I've seen those TV shows. Yeah, where a guy's got a knife sticking at him, he's just fine till some jackass pulls the blade out, and then he bleeds out right there. And let's face it, it's not like I can go to the Home Depot manager and go, hey, dude, I gave my son a pocket knife for his birthday, and you know that's like a rite of passage. But my wife saw him jumping up and down the trampoline with a knife blade out. Well, apparently that's a button push for her. Said, you got to take it away. I said, you can't take it away. It's like a rite of passage. She said, well, you better do something, because I'm not going to call that other boy's mom and tell him he got stabbed because we let him jump up and down the trampoline with a knife blade out. So I went in the garage. I tried pliers. They didn't work. Right? It's like made of steel. So I thought I went to Home Depot, get a pair of bolt cutters. They want $50 a pair. I think that's a little overpriced, don't you? I mean, I just want to borrow your bolt cutters. I don't need to buy the whole damn house. But, you know, I went behind the lumber sector with a pair of basically stolen bolt cutters, squeezed the blade off that knife, but it stuck me in the shoulder. I mean, I can't say that. So I just ran out of the Home Depot dripping blood the whole way. I get in my car and I drive to one of those urgent care centers that's like in a mall parking lot. Let me tell you something. When you walk into an urgent care center with a knife blade sticking out of you, they freak. Well, they're the earache, sore throat people. They don't see blood. I walked in with that knife sticking at me, and this lady goes, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. We have a bleeder. We have a bleeder. They throw me on this gurney. They're running me down the hallway, and y'all, I literally had this thought, oh, my God, Bill, have you finally done something so stupid you're going to die from it? They put me in this room, and in walks this Indian doctor, Dr. Bashar, who I still stay in touch with this day. But that day, he didn't know me from Adam. And he walked in and took one look at me and went, good God, man, what happened to you? Dude, I gave my son a pocket knife for his birthday, and you know that's like a rite of passage. But my wife saw him jumping up down the trampoline with a knife blade out. Well, apparently that's a button push for her. Said, you got to take it away. I said, you can't take it away. It's like a rite of passage. It'll kill him. She goes, well, you better do something, because I'm not calling that other boy's mom telling me he got stabbed because we let him jump up and down the trampoline with a knife blade out. So I said, well, I know what I'll do. I'll cut the blade of the knife off. But good God, it's like made of steel. I tried pliers. They didn't work. Wire snips, they didn't work. So I thought I need a pair of bolt cutters. So I went to Home Depot to get a pair of bolt cutters. They want $50 a pair. I think that's a little overpriced, don't you? So I thought I'd borrow their bolt cutters, went behind the lumber section there, snipped that blade off that knife, but it stuck me in the shoulder. He goes, you are the dumbest man on the planet. He said, you're like that dog that chases the bird in the cartoons. I said, Wile E. Coyote? He goes, you are Wile E. Coyote. Don't let an anvil hit you in the head on the way out. It took him an hour and a half to sew me up. Not because the cut was very big, but because he kept laughing. And every nurse that would walk by, he'd go, please, please. You got to see the dumbest man on the planet. It's like he's making it up, but he's not. Then I had to go home and tell Gail why there's a $700 charge on our visa. And she's like, what is wrong with you? I go, well, this is basically your fault. She goes, how do you figure that? I go, if you just let him jump up and down the trampoline, everything would have been fine. But no. You had to throw a big hissy fit. Now, look, I got a scar. Guess I won't be a model. Thanks.